Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Something snuck up on me right when I hit record. It's like someone's telling me not to do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, you have to do it. Saturday snuck up on me again. Today we got the frickin' Targ House of the Red Door Meereen deck. Dun dun dun. The most hated deck of all decks. This deck's pretty dumb. Oh man. After playing a few games with this deck, I can confirm that it does feel like playing on easy mode most of the time. You can get screwed by draw luck, just like anybody can. And it's not like you'll never lose a game. You can still lose games to, various things that either counter your stuff or like equally as dumb and overpowered as your stuff, because there are other things in the game that are really dumb and overpowered. But this is definitely one of the more powerful and like overall easier decks to play. I'd put it in the top 5 for sure. Personally, I'd say it's in my top 3. Very derpy deck. But we do have to play it if we're supposed to be playing the good stuff. I mean, this is the obvious number 1 for Targaryen. And Targaryen has a lot of options, to be honest, as far as dumb, easy, and strong decks. But this is the one we're starting with. And then we can try out Fealty, what else? Wars to Come, Banner of the Wolf, Crossing, even Cohort. Targaryen has like a bunch of decks. Most people just play this one though, because why play like anything even slightly interesting when you can just play the cookie cutter easy stuff, right? That's what you're supposed to do in this game. Anyways, let's take a look at the deck list that I put together here, which is nothing special. I'm not going to pretend that this is creative, but this is just sort of the version of the deck that I have. I sort of made sure that I have all the dumb stuff. Go down the character list quickly. I don't think any of it really needs any explanation. I have the Stormcrows. This is a cheap military icon, and because I have Astapor, I also have Blood of the Dragon, and Stormcrows go with this plot. Pretty self-explanatory. Astapor. Astapor is kind of a high risk, high reward, because if you spend 5 on this and they blow it up, that can lose you the game. But if you spend 5 on it and they don't have an answer, it's absurdly strong. It's extremely obnoxious, and if they don't have an answer, then it can win you the game. And you kind of will know which matchups you can expect this to get blown up in. Like, I would probably never marshal this against Greyjoy unless I literally have nothing else to spend the gold on. And I wouldn't marshal it against Stark unless I know that I have attachment removal on deck. But in a lot of other matchups, like, you can slam it down and it's going to do a ton of work. 1 Karth because negative attachments are a thing. Just 1. We've also got a couple Viserys. And you aren't like totally shut down by negative attachments. A lot of your characters really don't care about them that much. One of the main characters that would be bad to get hit with milk is Drogon, who can't take attachments. That's really convenient. So you don't need a ton. We've just got a little bit. Yeah, not really much that needs to be said about this deck. The plots, we've got Summer Harvest, obviously March because we're killing everything, trade routes for money, you win or you die because why not. The plot actually makes sense in this deck because you can run yourself out of cards pretty damn fast, and then it's like you might as well play this plot. Plus the high initiative and 2 claim goes with your kill everything strategy. Exchange of information, I'm slightly on the fence with this compared to counting coppers. I think both of them are fine. But I decided exchange would be a little bit better because they really don't want to give you any of those 8 kill events. And I guess the Dragon is No Slave is not always a kill event, but you have a reasonable chance to get an event that will kill something. And you can also get the Crown of Gold sometimes. Even though you only have 1 attachment, if you find that 1 attachment, it's an attachment that can win you the game on the spot if it kills an important character. And because you're Targaryen, if they give you dead cards, you can probably just find some way to discard them with like Plaza of Pride or something. Also, this shuffles your deck, so if you don't have your Isle of Ravens, it makes your Meereen's Market actually do something if you're like putting your cards back on the bottom of your deck. So I think it has some synergies that make it understandable over counting coppers. Close Call for Flea Bottom and draws another card, and Blood of the Dragon because we've got, burn stuff. I don't have any resets. I'm not sure if that's correct. I considered the first snow of winter, and I was like, I think the first snow of winter would not be unreasonable, but a lot of the stuff that you're losing to is not because the opponent has a bunch of small characters, it's when they have big characters that have some broken ability that you don't have an answer to. So I don't think first snow is really going to help you out that much. You definitely don't want Valar Morghulis, you don't have enough saves. Valar Dohaeris is not unreasonable, but in many cases it will not really do a whole lot. Whereas Blood of the Dragon is probably like almost always going to be useful at some point in the game. So that's the plot that I've selected here for the 7th one. Ideally, instead of having a reset, we can flip Blood of the Dragon and it's a one-sided reset. Some lobby banter here. This guy, Robert Forte, I believe this is the Red Viper. Somebody said this is the Red Viper. Not sure if that's true or not. I feel like probably not, because Cryogen obviously sees him. If it is the Red Viper, he's flying under the radar pretty hard. Anyways, this guy does like to complain, without a RL, this game will be dead. Stark and Targaryen are OP as fuck. Tyrell, Lannister, Barra, and Night's Watch are dead. And I sort of sarcastically reply, I remember when the game was going to be dead unless Martell was restricted into oblivion. Because, you know, whatever the BS is, like, before this current situation where I really hate Targ, Martell was the faction that triggered me the most. But to my credit, I've always hated Targaryen. That's not a new thing. It's just now they're actually really popular. But even, you know, a year ago when I first started playing, I always thought Targ Burn was really dumb. Then Cryogen says, and when literally no one played Stark because they were terrible. Somebody put, nobody ever mentions my Greyjoys. That is funny. Okay. See if we can bang out a quick game, get this over with. I almost hope that I lose, because it's like, I feel like it's more interesting to see what this deck loses to than to have a game where you just slam down Drogon and win on like turn 2 or something. That's pretty boring. I would say that the most likely factions that you will lose to is Greyjoy and Stark. Greyjoy has a bunch of saves to counter your aggression, and they have the big characters, so it's like, even if you burn 1 or even 2 of their big characters, if they just keep slamming down more of them, then eventually they're going to have a big character that you don't have a way to delete off the board, and they can like sort of win off of that. Plus, whenever your board gets too big, they can just play Valar Morghulis, and that really sucks. But it's definitely not like a... I wouldn't say that there's... I wouldn't say that there's any matchups where you're clearly disadvantaged. Those are just like matchups where the opponent has a reasonable chance. Did we seriously draw the mirror matchup? Oh man, that's dumb. This is gonna... Okay. Well, he said no mirror, sorry, he just peaced out. That's hilarious. I was gonna play it, I don't care. Well, don't rejoin my game, buddy. Sit out for a while, let me get someone else, and then you can play. I don't even know how the mirror match with this deck would go. It's like whoever draws Drogon first wins. That would be my guess. Alright, let's see what this is. Where is my Meereen? There. So my setup is 2-1, maybe Daenerys. Yeah, I think that's a good enough setup, especially because we have the Crown of Gold in hand. Oh, I keep forgetting I'm Red Door. Okay, so this is a good setup. We'll just do this. Don't need to set up Miss Sandy when we already have Plaza of Pride to put her into play. So he is Targaryen Cohor with no Rose Banner or anything like that. I guess this is a core set Daenerys Voltron. That would be my guess. Maybe a Barristan Voltron. That's another character that people like to stack attachments to. And I think that I beat this deck because if I just save my burn effects, you know, like save this Crown of Gold, and whenever they get whatever character that they're going to try to stack stuff onto, just play the Crown of Gold and like burn the character and they lose. Summer Harvest into Summer Harvest. I think that's better for him because he already has characters in play and he has a King's Road. But oh well. If I end up losing as this deck to Targ Cohort, I guess I can't complain about that. Definitely don't think I can complain. 3 gold. I could just marshal... No, I can't marshal the Crown of Gold. I don't know why I thought I had another gold. So I literally can't marshal any of this stuff. That's unfortunate. Well, that's what Meereen is for. Well, that's handy. Oh, I already did a limited. And Miss Sandy will now be put into play because of Meereen. So very slow start because of the double summer harvest. But he's also only got 2 gold. So let's see what he does. He also has a Shadows card. That actually could be Queen's Guard. But it could always just be Aegon. Another King's Road, okay. So we already have the Dracarys to delete Barristan Selmy out of the game. What do I have as far as challenges? Not much. No, I shouldn't make that attack. If it weren't for the fact that if he doesn't defend it, it'll put a power on my house card, then I might make the attack. Because I could, like, if I attack and he thinks he's going to defend with Barristan, then we could, like, bait him. Yeah, like, this way he only gets 1 challenge out of Barristan. And we cancel the military claim because we were at 7 to his 6 for the Barristan stand ability, but discarding the Missandei made us have the same hand size, so now it doesn't work. Oh, I have Crown of Gold. Well, yeah, this guy's going away. What a stupid card. Just pay 4. This character's dead. The duplicate doesn't matter. There's literally nothing the opponent can do about it. There's no interrupts. There's no cancels. It's passive text. There's nothing in the game that can stop it. So stupid. Deck limit 1. Definitely one of the top 5, like, worst cards in the game, in my opinion. It might be the worst card. I mean, it's the only card that's ever been printed where they put deck limit 1. I'm not sure why they thought that was ever a good idea. Oh, this is so overpowered that we're going to put deck limit 1 on it. And that way games can be decided by whether or not the 1 copy was drawn. Yeah, that's really fun. He chose his plot damn fast. I think we just picked trade routes. Yeah, why not? Won't be surprised if that's also his plot. Yep. Hopefully I'll have enough for Daenerys, Dracarys, and Crown of Gold. Made himself first player this time. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Not sure why he didn't sacrifice this Tokar. He won that military challenge last turn. He could have sacked this to put something on Barristan. But maybe he's like thinking 3 steps ahead and he already knows that Barristan is not going to be able to stay in play against the burn deck. So he's just not bothering. Yeah, putting it on Khal Drogo instead of Barristan. Recognizes that Barristan is more likely to get burned. Alright, time for derp number 1. Such a fair card. Derp number 2. I guess I just saved my gold. Always Meereen. Well, that worked out. What a draw. Now the Khal Drogo can't do anything, because I have 1 gold to Dracarys it. Still don't have any military icons, but who needs military icons when you have burn effects? You don't need them. You don't have to win any challenges. You don't even have to declare any characters into any challenges. All you have to do is have this card in play and 1 gold. And the 6 cost character can never do anything. Seems pretty balanced. Bye-bye. This is fun and interactive gameplay right here. XD indeed. Yeah, that's game. Do you even say GG? Yeah. It's not really GG. What is there to say about that? I don't think there's much to say. I hate Targaryen. This is why I hate Targaryen. I don't hate Targaryen when it's not this type of stuff. Like, his deck is like a different type of deck. It's not a burn deck. But this deck that I'm playing, I hate this deck. This is dumb. These effects are dumb. They make the game boring. They're not interactive. They take no thought whatsoever. I absolutely hate them. And this game perfectly demonstrates why and how boring and non-interesting the game is when you're doing this. Like I said in the Facebook group, and everyone ganged up on me and was like, "Oh man, just get good, man. What are you doing, man? Why are you complaining? You just gotta learn to play, man. Stop whining. You can deal with it." Like, that was all the type of shit that I got when I made a post saying that the burn effects would have been better and more fair and more balanced if they were just strength reduction and didn't kill stuff with no saves allowed. Because, like, if this Dracarys was just -4 for the end of the phase, instead of killing, it's just -4 without the kill if his strength is 0. To me, it would be much more interesting, because then it's like an actual control effect. And it compares more to similar control abilities in other houses, like the event Confinement or Consolidation of Power in Baratheon, which like Neil's a 4-strength character. And then it would be a lot more balanced, in my opinion, and more interesting to both play and play against. If you had strength reduction as a theme, the same way that Tyrell has strength buffs as a theme. But instead, it's non-interactive board deletion as a theme. I don't understand how anyone can seriously say that that's like more fun to play with or against, but I don't know. Apparently some people like it. I guess if you just like to win games and that's all you care about and you literally don't care how you got there, then this is definitely an easy way to win some games. Alright. I'm not going to try to play a better game than this either. It shows the dumb stuff off perfectly, basically demonstrated what I wanted to demonstrate with this deck, and now I'm done with it. Burn it, burn the burn deck, throw it into the fire.